Is it working? I see a blank screen on my end. First test live in the garage today. Maybe some end working. I don't even know if it would send me a sound notification if someone dropped in or chat or anything. I've never done this before. Got one viewer, one like. Somebody's out there. Hello. Thanks for dropping in. You got to try out the chat, though. Now I see two viewers. Somebody try out the chat. Let me know if the video looks good. Let me know if the audio, can you hear me? This is an all new setup here. Ooh, I think I see somebody just chatted. Greetings from the great state of Alabama. Thank you for joining. Hello. What's going on today? No video? Uh-oh. See, I knew there was a problem here. Let me see if I can fix the video. Give me a second here. Growing pains. Like I said, I've never done this before. There we go. How about now? I can see me. Bigger hammer. It did work. Yeah, I smacked it around. You know that? So what's going on? What's going on in Alabama? I almost have 5,000 subscribers. You know that? I woke up with 4,990. I only need a few more. AC repair in the home shop. So I'm doing a timing cover gasket on this 98 Dodge right now. I've got the front cover all torn down here, and I've got it all cleaned up. I was working on cleaning up the bolt holes here, and I also noticed that the timing chain's got a little bit of wear here, so I think I'm going to look into replacing that timing chain before I put it back together. I've also got this rear axle assembly for this truck that I need to tear down. Gonna pull this cover off. The guy told me it was good. I got to pull the cover off, give it a check out. What brand chain? Well, Cloy's is pretty good. Cloy's is kind of like the standard. Everyone uses Cloy's. A lot of people like to talk crap about Cloy's, but the thing is that I've pulled out factory parts from Ford, Mopar, and GM. So Ford, Chrysler, and GM. I've pulled factory parts right out of the package with Cloy's right on it. So anyone that wants to talk crap about Cloy's, I mean, they're building stuff for the factory. So I think that's probably good enough for me. Being that this is an older engine anyway, that's probably the most economical choice available anyway. For most of the auto parts stores or any of the online retailers you might use. I don't think I would get it from Amazon though. You probably get a cheap counterfeit or something. I like to buy my auto parts store from the local store. So if I do have a problem, I can just take it back, and there's an actual person I have to deal with. Thank you very much. Great to see you hit 5,000 subs. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really close. I must be. I think I need like 7 more subs. We're pretty much there. I wasn't going to mention it, but today's actually my birthday also. And I was looking at my analytics months back, and I was like, I'm on track to hit about 5,000 by my birthday. And what do you know? Today's the day. I only need a few more. Let's get it over the hump, right? I've used Cloy's with no problems. Yeah, I've used Cloy's on a lot of engine repairs. Never had a problem. I might have to change my setup at some point though, because my laptop's here. What I need is like a desk or something right here so it's like easy access. I've got the camera on a stand, and I can move the stand around around the garage and all that. Thinking at some point I might start doing more lives, if I had a following, people that wanted to actually do some Q&A. If you get me talking about cars, I'll never shut up. I don't hear any sound though. Like when I get a chat, I can't hear it for some reason. Maybe that's normal. Well, look at that. We're up to 5 viewers now. Thanks to everybody for dropping in. Say hello at least. Try out the chat. Let's make sure it's working. 43 years. What primarily did you work on? I was always an independent. When I was learning all the way from the time that I started all the way to the point that I work at the dealership now, I was always an independent. We worked on all makes, all models. I worked on semi trucks, combine tractors, just about anything you could think of. How does the audio sound, if anyone wants to give me some feedback on that? Is my voice easy to hear and all that? Background noise isn't too bad? Worked Dodge, Chrysler, then, does that say then Toyota? It's behind the little heart. Finally, Indy Shop. It was a great run. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I worked mostly all Indies. Now I work at the Chevy dealer, which is, we're a small Chevy dealer, so we still more or less work on all makes and all models. So we still operate much like an independent shop, which is good because when those candy jobs come in, you can kind of pick and choose. You can be like, no, that's a Ford. I don't want to work on that. Or you could be like, well, a Ford cam phaser job, yeah, I'll take that. Ford Triton spark plugs, yeah, I'll take that. Because I did a lot of Ford Tritons, lots of blown out spark plugs, lots of cam phasers and all that. So I would be like, yeah, I'll take those. Everyone else is scared of them. I've done Chrysler timing belts, PT Cruiser timing belts at the Chevy dealer. I've done a Subaru head gasket or two when I was over there. I think the service manager just bought a Volvo. I told him, well, you got a guy to work on Volvo because I've done Volvo. I've done cylinder heads on Volvos. I've done timing belts on Volvos. Good audio. Well, thanks for the feedback. Do I do a lot of home and side jobs? Not if I can help it. Mostly I work on friends and family, but primarily family in my off time, which I do not have a lot of off time. There's a reason that we call this Dad's Garage. That's because I'm a father of four. I have 4 kids. We have a lot of things going on. Free time is not something that I come across easily. So primarily, I'm like the family mechanic because we've got so many cars in the family that I could work for days. I had that Honda Odyssey that I just released a couple videos on. That sat in my driveway for 6 months because I was so busy and I'm like, I don't want to work on this thing after work. But yeah, a lot of my videos feature some of our family cars because that's mostly what I work on in my off time. Sometimes I'll do like a private job for somebody. I do have my own little thing going, but it's more like I choose what I want to work on kind of thing. Like I'm really picky about who I work for. Yeah, once you can repair cars, you'll never be out of work. You'll never be short of friends either. You'll always have plenty of friends. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You know what I mean? I've gotten a few of those. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Where you been? How's life? How's the family? Hey, listen, my truck's doing this thing. What do you think it is? You know what I mean? You worked on cars for 43 years. I'm sure you know what I mean. But I mean, I've got enough stuff here, just my own personal stuff. At home, I've got enough stuff. We can make videos for days. Just tell me what you want to see. I've got quads. I got a Briggs & Stratton engine over there. I've got an axle here. I just did a Corvette, a 2020 Corvette. We took the muffler out and straight piped it. I didn't have time to do a video on that because, you know, I work flat rate and I didn't have time to both work efficiently and produce content. But I've got the old muffler off of that thing. I saved it just in case because he's like, the owner told me to throw it away. And I'm like, are you sure? You know, I'm going to wait and see if he wants to change his mind on that straight pipe thing. But it did actually sound really good. It sounded awesome. Not as loud as I thought it was going to be. But, you know, just in case he wants to switch it back, I've got his original muffler. So I could even throw that thing on the bench and talk about it. You know, it's got the little AFM flapper valves. What else do I got? I've got all sorts of stuff around here. They want to be a so-called friend, but won't return any favors. Learned that lesson years ago. Now it's strictly business with money exchanged for my knowledge and work. Yeah, for sure. You know, been there. And then it's like, as soon as you start asking to get paid, because yeah, it turns into a pain in the butt to always be the rescuer. As soon as you start asking to get paid, you might be the, you know, oh, that guy's an asshole, you know. But whatever. I don't have time for friends. I got family. I got all the friends I need, right? Most of them aren't even human. Some of my best friends are my cats, right? My cats, my dogs. I get along better with animals than people. That's why I work alone. I'm working in the, you know, this nice quiet garage. I got to figure out how to make it give me a notification when it sends a chat. I have my home shop set up for serious AC service repair along with drivability and electrical repair. I call it Last Chance Garage. Awesome. Yeah, I'm the last chance too. I'm like the last stop. You bring it to me before you give it up. So when you say you're set up for AC, you mean like you have the complete combination machine, like the one all-in-one recovery recycling machine, or do you have all separate components like scale? You got a separate scale, you got the vacuum pump or whatever. So you do HVAC and drivability and electrical. So you must have a scan tool also, right? You got a scan tool? He's got the RRR machine, the combo machine, nitrogen. He's got most shops in my area tell me about it. I've worked in those shops where it's like they have raggedy ass machines and raggedy equipment. They're like, yeah, we can do AC work here. At some point, I think I would like to do AC work here also. You know, I could probably just get a scale, get a refrigerant identifier, you know, maybe just find a used machine for a good price or something, but I don't know. These days, I primarily focus on diagnostics, drivability, electrical, and all that, because it's just, you know, that's kind of the easier way for me to make my money these days as a flat rate tech. I don't, you know, with all these modern vehicles, these things are a nightmare to work on. I just did a diesel repair that warranty time's like 32 hours, and you're working on a 32-hour job. You knock that thing out, and then right behind it, they're like, okay, well, here's your next job, 24 hours. Knock that out. And is it done yet? Can you get it done a little faster? You know what I mean? When you're doing these R&R jobs over and over and over again, back to back to back, it just wears you down. So I've been really trying to focus on my diag, and I'm a flat rate diagnostic technician, so I really count on those customer pay hour diag. We start at an hour for a basic diag, right? So if I use my skills and my experience to knock out an hour diag in say 15 to 30 minutes, and maybe up to 45 minutes if I'm doing an estimate also, I'm still trying to stay ahead and keep my daily average up. Multiple scanners, does programming. How many years have I been a tech? Professionally, I've been a technician since 2009. How long have I been working on cars and mechanical things? Since I was about 5 years old. Since I could just about since the time I could be in the garage, I was working on cars or working on something. When I was in second grade, I was too impatient for my dad to get home from work and fix my go-kart. So I was like, I pulled out the book and I was like, read, how does this two-stroke engine work? How's the carburetor work? How's the ignition system all work, right? Because it wouldn't start. And I didn't want to wait for him to get off work and everything, because I get off work or get out of school before him. So I read the book, kind of taught myself how does it work. And that's kind of where it all started. Is I was just working on my own stuff out of, I don't have time to wait. I'll do it myself. So I've been working on mechanical things ever since I can remember, which is partly why I started this channel, because I have spent my entire life learning. I've spent my entire life acquiring knowledge, not just automotive, but learning about everything, anything I could soak up. And it's like, how can I pass all that along? I maybe work with 1 or 2 apprentices a year. And I've picked up a lot of good tips and tricks and bad experiences too, right? I've blown up customers' engines. I've done transmission band adjustments wrong, and I learned what happens there. You know what I mean? So, and you too, you've got a bank of experience. When you die, that's all gone. That's the kind of stuff that you can't learn in the book. You know what I mean? A lot of my videos are tips and tricks, or how to clear the clutter when you're doing a diagnostic on a complex ignition system, complex fuel injection system. How do we take that vehicle, take in all, analyze what we do have in our hand, and cross out what we don't, right? Here's where we don't need to look. Here's where we don't need to look. It's either 1, 2, or 3, right? So I kind of want to share those tips, tricks, knowledge, experience, and also provide a place for people like you, do your comments, add your comments. Hey, did you know you can get that bolt if you lift up this and, remove that bracket, you get to that bolt or whatever. Couldn't work flat rate BS these days. Too many variables on newer vehicles. I even do motors and small engine service, but local small engine shop is full of idiots. Yeah. Small engines. I find that a lot of people that work on small engines don't really understand what they're doing. They don't understand the adjustments that they're making. Or what they'll do is they're trying to fix an engine that it clearly has a mechanical problem, like it's got a massive amount of blow by, and you're trying to adjust carburetor wise or something. What else would you say? Couldn't work flat rate. Yeah, I'd say flat rate is on its way out. Flat rate is dying for sure. The apprentices coming in now, they're all hourly. And they're having a good time learning. They're having they're laughing and having a good time and working on a comfortable pace. I was flat rate since day one. So I remember when I started out of, I did a 2-year trade school, but when I came out of trade school and I hit my very first week of actually working as a tech, it's like everything I learned flew out right out the window, and I didn't like, deer in the headlights. But my first couple of paychecks as a flat rate tech, I got 16 hours in a 40-hour work week. And that's when you have to wake up and be like, sink or swim, right? Survive. You're either going to survive or not. And I've seen in the last couple of years a lot of apprentices, even though they're getting paid hourly, they enjoy it right up to the point that they hit flat rate. And then once they get switched over to flat rate, it's like you can almost see the timer. It's like, I'll give it 60 days before they quit. And it happens just like that every time they quit. After you invest a year, maybe a year and a half or 2 years training them up. I trained up a couple guys in the last few years, and they decided it wasn't for them right when they got switched over to flat rate, because these modern vehicles are not compatible with flat rate times. The people that come up with these flat rate times probably never even done the job, and if they did, they're probably doing it in a perfect laboratory environment. And the labor times, some of them I couldn't even imagine. I think I saw one just the other day for, and it was for a 2016 Tahoe, which should theoretically be way out of warranty, but they've got the warranty time on that to do lifters. It was like 7 hours to tear down the engine, clean, pull the lifters out, and clean and inspect everything. Scrape the head gaskets clean, scrape all your surfaces clean all the bolt holes and all that, and put it all together. They want to pay you 7 hours. Maybe there's a super tech out there somewhere that can do it. I'll admit it. I guarantee you someone could do that. Zip, 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 zip. They could do it. But can you do it over and over again? Can you do it consistently day in and day out without wearing yourself out? My back and my hips are too worn out to do flat rate hustle. Yeah. My back's been killing me. My knees have been killing me. That kind of goes back to why I'm trying to really focus on drivability and electrical and stuff. Maybe I'm getting old and lazy. I don't know if I'm getting old yet, but maybe I just want to work hard, work smarter, and not have my back aching. I still like to go run, jump, still want to be as mobile as I can, mobile and active as I can. Looks like we got 8 viewers in here now. Daniel's here. What's going on, Daniel? Glad to see you drop in. Thanks for stopping in. Anytime I drop a video, I'm thinking of you. You know that? Anytime I see a 2012 Silverado or something. What time is it? About 4:20-ish. I don't know if any of you guys watch Online Mechanic Tips videos. That's one of my favorite channels. He does lives every Thursday and Sunday. So I was just going to shut this down right before he got on there, because I usually hop on there and just participate in the chat or whatever, because it's very interesting. I pretty much live and breathe mechanical things now, so it's like I can never escape it. I always have to be engaged with people that speak my language anymore. Grab a fresh rag. What's the truck in the back? This is a 98 Ram. This is a sneak peek. You guys aren't even supposed to see this truck right now. You know that? I shouldn't even show you. Don't even look. But so I've got the timing cover off. That's what I was doing on the bench here. So cleaning up this timing cover. looks like there's a little bit of wear on the balancer here. So I did get I got the kit with the little sleeve, the repair sleeve, to repair that. And so I'm resealing the timing cover, flushing out the cooling system, because whoever put this is a Jasper engine. Somebody put the new engine in this thing. They put a nasty old radiator back in. And like I can't understand how you're going to put a brand new engine in with a nasty radiator, a nasty old radiator hoses. Like they're like, you squeeze on them, there's like stuff inside of them. And that's what this axle's for. This rear axle here is for this truck. So keep an eye out for the videos, because there's a reason there's a rear end here, okay? Let's see, I think it was the driver's side. On this truck, the driver's side axle, he just took it to a place, a very popular place where you may get brakes and suspension work done, right? Everyone knows this place. Nationwide chain. He had a bunch of work done, and he brings it to me. And this driver's side on his truck is like pouring axle, like gear oil out, dripping, leaving a puddle in my driveway outside, right? And so I take it apart thinking, okay, well, let's check out the axle seal, because this stuff's all supposed to be new. New axle seals, new brakes, even like new brake shoes, everything's new. And when I took that thing apart, it was like, I could not even believe that they reused some of these components. Like, I can't believe you pulled this axle shaft out, saw this, and you reused it, put it back in like that, right? And they put in a repair bearing into the housing, but I don't know if they installed it correctly, because it spun in the housing, and it spun real bad in the housing, right? So I drove this truck, and I'm like, oh, what's that grinding noise? I'm turning left and right. What's the horrible grinding noise? Probably has something to do with the rear axle leak. So hopefully this axle's good. This is supposed to be a good donor axle. My truck is a very expensive hobby. Yeah, same here, except for I've got too many of them. I've got too many of these expensive hobbies piling up around here. Do I do any automatic transmissions rebuilds? I was rebuilding DC A604 42 TE, like Chrysler transmissions. Okay. Trans back in the 90s, always busy on those piles. I do some transmission work, yes. I try to avoid it, because as a flat rate technician, it does not pay. I love doing automatic transmission. I have an automatic transmission sitting down here on the floor that I would love to show you guys on the bench someday. Allegedly, there's nothing wrong with it. So I may also get this engine. The guy said, hey, I've got this engine that runs, but it's got a nasty vibration, like a crankshaft vibration. So I was like, okay, well, I've got an engine. You're going to give me an engine that runs. I've got a transmission. Maybe I'll make up some Frankenstein thing, or some sort of test bench. I don't know. What do you want me to do? Give me some input. But transmission work, I do warranty transmission work whenever I have to, more or less. Otherwise, I try and avoid it. I have a Yukon with a 4L60. When that thing finally gives up, yeah, I'll rebuild that myself. Probably on my Silverado also. My Silverado's got a 6L90, and that thing has been shifting funny. The 2-3 shift has been bothering me lately. It kind of acts like it's flaring. Like, I don't know if it's the valve body, because those 6L90s are well known for having the plastic check balls wear through. They shrink and they get stuck in the spacer plate. What else are those? I don't think that thing has any torque converter issues, but it does kind of shift weird on the 2-3 shift sometimes. Interesting fact, 2002 8.1 and the 2.4 8.1 have different throttle body connectors. Why would they be different? Maybe this they changed the way that they had it wired, because usually they'll have throttle position sensor 1 and throttle position sensor 2, and they'll oppose when they have opposing signals. 2014 6L90. Yeah, I think you can still get you can definitely still get a 6L90 in 2014. You can still get a 6L90 in 2020. I don't know when they got rid of it. I don't know if they have yet. There were when GM came out with the 6.6 liter gas, they were mating it up with the 6L90, and then they had plans of changing it to the 10 speed. So I think you can now get it with the 10 speed, and it does pair well. Like it drives really nicely with the 10 speed. The 6.6 gas drives nice with a 10 speed, but it drives nice with a 6 speed also. And I think the 6 speed is way more durable. Penn Auto Diagnostics was doing a video on a 2001 8.1, and they couldn't get an OEM throttle body. They went to a 2004, and you can get an OEM throttle body. So you're saying that did they have to rewire it? Maybe this is a video I need to check out. Sounds like it. Penn Auto. I don't think I've ever seen Penn Auto's videos. Maybe I have. Early GM electric throttle body had an additional module to interface between the ECM and the throttle body. Yeah, I feel like I've dealt with that before. Sounds like a European thing, right? GM, so yeah, Bosch, some early Bosch system, some early weird system, right? Maybe an early Cadillac system or something. Probably before my time, you know that. Usually when I work alone in my garage like this, I'll have a movie playing or something. He says yes. So they did. They must have had to rewire it. Penn Auto. I'll have to check that out. What state am I in? I'm in Oregon. I'm on the West Coast. Penn Auto Diagnostics. Do you remember the video when he works in a GMC Envoy SUV? No, I don't think the name sounds super familiar. Penn Auto Diagnostics. I'm sure I've watched some of their videos. Like I watch automotive videos, but like not really. I'll watch the diagnostic videos mostly because I find them interesting. Any of the like R&R kind of videos I not usually watching because I do it day in and day out, do it every day. Do I see a lot of rust on the vehicles around here? Not that bad around here. When I used to work on the coast full time, I used to work on exclusively vehicles that would work on, they would drive on the coastal beaches, right? Those things, yes, we saw terrible rust. So I did get a lot of experience and practice with bolt extractions and doing, the front ends of Dodges, front ball joints in Dodges, Fords, where the hubs won't come off and the rotors won't come off, and like every bolt you touch snaps. And I had a Subaru steering knuckle before that was it was rusted so bad we could not press the axle out of the hub, and we put it in the press, and it had so much tension on it that it snapped the whole knuckle in half, broke the knuckle, and we still could not get it off, right? And I told the rider, I was like, well, the knuckle's broken now. And he's like, I better not walk over there and find that axle nut still on there, right? He's thinking I'm trying to press it out with the axle nut still on it. I'm like, look, these things rust bad. Yeah, so on the coast, we did see a lot of heavy rust. So I've got a lot of practice with that. You're jealous? No rust on vehicles here in Alabama unless it's a car from up north. Yeah, I'm pretty jealous of that. I've seen some of the vehicles. Like I've seen some of the videos of these vehicles that live in dry climate states, and it's like, oh my God, look at the frame on that thing. Look at the body under that thing. That thing looks great. I'm jealous you don't live in the Rust Belt. I need new bedsides on my Chevy. Yeah, I'm okay with not living in the Rust Belt because I like to keep my cars for a long time. I would keep them forever if I could. Actually, you know what? What do we even need body panels for, right? As long as that thing still starts, runs, drives, and stops, it's going to be running. It's going to still be working and doing something for me, whether it's on the road or if it's just around here, around the farm. I'll keep it till it literally falls apart, and then I'll hack it up and make YouTube videos out of it, right? I've got some crazy plans, you know that? I want to get like a truck, just get like a little S10 or something, and take the body off of it, take the bed off of it. So it'll just be basically a rolling frame, like an instructional frame that we can just screw with. We could have that thing running and be like, here, what happens when we unplug this? What happens when we feed it water down the intake or something, right? Something crazy like that. This isn't the shop's brake cleaner, it's my brake cleaner, so I gotta use it gingerly, you know what I mean? Y'all rich folk with your expensive brake cleaner. There are still plenty of 25-year-old cars on the road around here, especially trucks and Toyotas. I have a 97 Accord in the shop for timing belt job that had 260,000 miles, still running strong. Yeah, that's what I'm all about here, is very high mileage cars, and we just keep them going, keep them running. My little Scion, I've got a couple videos on that Scion. That thing's got close to 300,000 miles on it, and The timing chain looks like it's so worn out it's going to let go at any minute, but that thing just will not give up. We got an Echo. We got a high mileage Echo. My Yukon's got high miles. I think that thing's got like 265,000 miles on it now, maybe more. It might be 280. My truck, my Silverado, doesn't have too many miles on it. It's got like 140 now. Dark metallic blue with a 1.5-year-old color, offered in a GMT 900, and then they went to Imperial Blue in 2009. So you got the nice blue truck, huh? My truck is white, and it looks like it's been kind of, I wouldn't say abused, but less than cared for. I did get it cheap, though. I got my Silverado cheap because that thing had a leaky windshield. The front windshield was leaking all the way across the top. So when we brought that thing home, and we were washing it for the first time, my wife was sitting in the driver's seat, and I hit the driver's seat, the windshield with the hose. She's like, no, stop, because the water was just coming straight through the window into her face, right? So I got that truck cheap because it was soaked. The interior was soaked with water. Carpet soaked with water. Headliner covered in mold. Seats all covered in mold. Carpet covered in mold. And it wouldn't start. Wouldn't run. It had no communication. And it had your typical rotted out. It had no speakers. The speakers weren't working. Water leaks. So it was kind of an electrical nightmare. Scrapped the truck. So I was like, Bill, I needed the truck at the time. I just have my half ton, my 72 F100 is a half ton, and it's a single cab. So that was all I had at the time. And I was like, well, I do need a bigger truck. I need a 3/4 ton at least with an extended cab would be great. So I was like, I'll pay your diag bill and I'll take the truck over. So I brought it home, and I slowly over time, I fixed the airbag module, got it running. I fixed the speakers. I cleaned up the interior, and that truck still stinks. It still stinks inside, but damn, that truck's some of the best money I ever spent. Own a 1999 Jeep Cherokee, second owner, bought at 125,000 miles back in 2007, has a 285,000 miles now. Original engine and transmission. I completely believe that. Those things are solid. Around here, we don't even see too many of those anymore. The 99 Jeep Cherokees. We don't see too many of the Cherokees or Grand Cherokees anymore, mostly because everyone turns them into mudders and four-wheelers and beats them up. Well, I got company coming in. Oh, she's just walking by. I rebuilt the AC on the Cherokee 10 years ago, still blowing ice cold air today with no problems. Hello, Advanced Level Diagnostics. Hello, and thanks for dropping in. I think I'm going to be wrapping this up soon because Online Mechanic Tips usually jumps on about this time, and I don't want to miss it. This was just a test live anyway. You know, I'm testing out my new setup. I've got the camera on the stand here. I've got, I'm trying to like get the view right, the audio right, see if you guys can hear me, see if I even have a following, or I don't mind. I'll talk to myself. That's the only person that'll listen. 171,000 miles. I rebuilt the AC on my Yukon too a while back because the compressor. So it's a 2003 Yukon. They used to have problems with after a hot soak on a hot summer day, you would start it up and you would take off in first gear and the compressor would go, it would, like rattle. And sometimes the compressor would blow up because it's slugging. It's sucking liquid refrigerant in because it's a low mounting compressor. And I think that's what happened to my compressor. I mean, it's been so long ago. I can't even remember. That's insane. I can't even believe that. But I'm pretty sure I had to replace the compressor because it blew up. It blew up. I heard it rattle a few times before I was able to get to it, and it was destroyed. And so I replaced the compressor, I replaced the condenser, I flushed everything out. I did it right. I did everything. That was my own vehicle. I spent the money, I spent all the time, and I fixed it, and it still works wonderful. And then also, yeah, they use a Denso compressor, and it's worth, so if you're looking for a compressor for those, don't buy the cheap one, because I bought the cheap one. And there's nothing wrong with the cheap one. It actually did work fine. The cheap compressor worked just fine, but the front compressor seal on that thing, the brand new compressor, ended up leaking. So all the refrigerant, it kept leaking out. And I was like, I sniff it. I was like, I cannot find this leak, until one day I parked it in the garage, and I was like, I'm just going to just see. I put my hand on the compressor and turned it, and I could hear it hiss. So I was like, you could hear it hiss, and it would come and go as you turn the shaft. So that front compressor seal was leaking, but when I went to find the seal, I was like, okay, well, the compressor's brand new and it works fine. I'll just replace the seal. Couldn't find a seal anywhere. And I'm like, by the time I actually do find a seal and actually go through the trouble of getting the tools and going through the trouble of changing the seal, I may as well just go buy the Denso compressor like I should have in the first place. And that's what I did. I bought the Denso compressor, the OEM, and it's never had a problem since. Never buy cheap AC parts. They never last, and you just make a more expensive repair later. Yep. I've been there. I've worked in independent shops that they want to supply you with the cheapest, lowest grade AC parts. Yep, been there. I've pulled condensers and evaporators out of the box that they're half the weight of the old one, or they're half the thickness, or half the amount of fins as the old one. And you're like, I know I'm installing a problem. I know that this will never work. Just get me something else, Or you pull it out of the box and it's like you got to bend the tubes to fit in it, or the ends, the threads are always messed up. This is cheap garbage. Anyway, so there's seven viewers. I'm about to wrap this up. I'd like to thank everybody for dropping in. Thank you guys for participating, giving me some feedback, and letting me practice talking to myself, talking to you guys also. So thanks. I don't know if I'm going to do any more of these lives, maybe in the future. Let me know if you want to see something. Let me know if there's a topic you would like to talk about. I've got books. I've got stacks of automotive books. I've got old Chilton books from, for all 60s and 70s cars. I've got motor books. I've got like Volkswagen training manuals on TDI engines. I've also got whatever's in my head. You want to ask me about fuel injection. Ask me about oxygen sensors, O2 sensors, spark plug. I don't care what you want to ask. Just let me know what you want to hear. Good live stream. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's my first ever, so I'm glad it was worth it. I got very lucky. I was looking for NOS, new old stock, GM formats, ebony carpet for my GM truck. I found a parts warehouse that had the front one and the back one for $130 in shipping. Nice. I've been looking for some interior parts on this Dodge pickup that, I don't want to spend a fortune. The truck's not necessarily worth spending a fortune on interior. We just want it to have a better interior than it has now. It's pretty rough. Like the seatbelts are all torn up. There's big chunks missing out of the seats and all that. So I've been on the lookout for interior parts. I looked at a few used trucks, and they just weren't worth it, But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you very much. Go ahead and, let me know what you guys want to see next time, and I'll see what I can do. Now I got to figure out how to end it. Bye.